Welcome back to the Road Show this morning in The Buzz. It's not official church law, but comments from the Pope are sparking controversy and really confusion for many Catholics. Now, in a book due out tomorrow, an interview with the Pope suggests that condoms are acceptable to prevent HIV and AIDS in certain cases, such as male prostitution. Now, this comes after the Pope's trip to Africa last year, where he drew fire for saying that condoms could not help prevent the spread of the AIDS crisis there. While Catholics have mixed reactions, theologians don't think this will reverse traditional teachings. Take a look.
It's not going to lead to a wholesale overturn of the Church's teaching on birth control.
I think any move towards the Catholic Church being more accepting of condoms is a good thing.
But I just don't think it's right. You know, we're Catholics, we're not supposed to do that.
I don't know whether, to be discouraged because it once again does not respect gay people as in loving, committed relationships, as so many of us are, or to say, well, at least there's an acknowledgement of other forms of sexuality here.
So it's really interesting because there's a wide array of reaction to the Pope's comments. What do you guys think?
Well, I was going to say, it almost sounds like we're finding a way to make male prostitution work, but when it comes to abortion and contraception and all that stuff, it's like, well, we're stuck on this. We're going to stay. We're not going to bend at all.
Yeah, I wonder why he leaned towards making it safe.
Why is that? Why'd that become a priority?
I think that was one of a list of several places where it would be acceptable. But
like
and also probably where AIDS is more prevalent in that.
What's interesting to me is that one of the things that the Catholics believe is that, which makes it a little bit different from other denominations, is that, well, first of all, that sex is to be done between a married couple,
right.
not stepping outside, and that when it comes to contraception, the reason that you don't use contraception, at least as far as I understand it in the Catholic Church, is that, sex is simply for procreation and for no other reason than procreation. What I think is interesting in what the Pope is reaching out to is saying that, if you are a Christian, if you are a Catholic, this is what you believe, that the times and day and policies may change, but God's word remains the same. What I think is interesting about this is there is a provision for people who perhaps are not believers in the faith to say, listen, you may not believe that sex between one man and one woman is right for you, but we want you to maybe remain safe or acknowledging that not everyone, if you're not a believer, that you're not going to follow the Bible's teachings of, sex simply in a marriage confinement. And because of that, there are consequences, and the consequences are disease and emotional, emotional turmoil and that sort of thing. And so here is one place where we can, issue some sort of, life preserver.
Yeah, I'm just glad that somebody as high as him that will obviously get the word out there.
He's the Pope. He's up there.
Yeah, is finally just not naive about the whole thing. They realize you're supposed to wait till you're married. That's what Catholics believe. But, the bottom line is nowadays with people not getting married till they're 26, 27, 28,
Or not getting married.
Not getting married at all. We were just talking about
I'm just glad that
they've
kind of admitted and they're not being so naive to say that, nobody is having sex until they're married.
Right.
It's about time.
I just think that in general, I think they're starting to loosen up, if that's the right term, to kind of times are changing. That book was written a long time ago. The one where all that stuff comes from, and it's time to.
That book, the Bible.
Yeah, that thing was written a long time ago.
That is so old.
That thing is really old. And but I'm just saying that hey, times are changing, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Catholic priests being able to get married at some point.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, biblically, there's nothing that really says that priests should remain unmarried. It was just a Catholic policy, so that
it's an old book.
It was a Catholic policy. It's not what came from the Bible, but it's an interesting topic, and certainly, Courtney, one that I think a lot of people, since we are so heavily Catholic in this state, are going to have a comment on.
Absolutely, and we have comments from our top 5 finalists this morning for Search for a Star, so I want to get to those, and you guys can get to know them a little better and see what they think on today's Buzz. So we'll start on the live blog on foxprovidence.com, and this one's from Seth. He says, I'm excited to see that the Pope has begun to realize that abstinence can't be the only strategy in the 21st century and is making steps in the right direction. Dana says, I couldn't believe it, and yes, I think it is brave of him. And Michaela says, the Pope isn't trying to influence anyone, but rather prevent others from diseases if and when they choose to make that decision. And Jessica says she definitely agrees that this is a huge step in the right direction. So here's our poll right underneath that live blog, and we're asking you at home, what do you think of Pope Benedict's statements on condom use? Choices are A, there's an exception to every rule, B, it's a step in the right direction, or C, it conflicts with church teachings. And we've heard from many of you on our Facebook page this morning. Here's a few comments. This one's from Donna Stanley. She says, small steps are better than no steps at all. And Adam Blessing says, hello, Catholic Church. Welcome to the real world. It's about time. So if you folks want to weigh in, you can do so, and we'll have those poll answers for you in about a half hour. And you can also see what our Search for a Star finalists